So Carol's awake. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 9 of Symphogear GX. And I was told something interesting in the comments of last week's episode. So apparently, I guess for this show and then various others probably, there's this, at least in Japan, there's this shipping culture. A very specific kind of shipping culture where the fans actually prefer it if nothing is canonized. Like 100% canonized. Because with shows like this, it's very obvious it's canon. But they don't have the characters kiss, and they don't have them go on dates or anything, or have any really like in, like notable confirmation of their relationship. Apparently, it sells better this way. Marketing, merchandise, etc., all does better when it's kind of left not vague, but just unconfirmed, not fully confirmed, not fully canonized, which is weird to me. Because it's don't get me wrong, I like to ship things. Or characters, I should say. I like to ship characters, and I like to be part of that entire thing here. But, if characters are so blatantly supposed to be together, just make them canon. It makes more sense than keeping it vague. Keeping it vague does nothing. It's just a refusal, especially when it comes to queer relationships. When there's two characters who are very clearly supposed to be in a queer relationship together, but the series refuses to confirm it, it honestly feels a little insulting. Especially because there's so many shows out there with just constantly confirmed heterosexual relationships. You have these queer relationships that are just as valid and just as important to show on screen, but you don't. You keep it vague and everything. And I understand that culture and everything is a lot different in Japan with this kind of stuff. And there's not a huge amount of anime that really canonizes and fully goes into the gay. There are definitely some. There are absolutely some. But you also have to take into account, I feel Japan's culture surrounding queerness. It's a lot better than it used to be. Things are progressing for sure. And from what I've heard, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but from what I've heard, a lot of just average people, average citizens, are fine with it. They have no issue with queer people. It's more the government, from what I've heard. But either way, it's there's queer people aren't as readily they don't have as many rights and freedoms as they have in other countries, even here. And with America, with our current administration trying to take away queer rights and stuff, yeah, not great here at the moment either, but still. And I feel there's a lot of creators who are maybe concerned about showcasing queer relationships and concerned about what that would do to their sales. So I feel a lot of them get around it through this. But this entire thing about the marketing and everything, that's interesting. I don't know how that all works, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, personally. I feel like it would make more sense if they were canon, you know? Because then you could make merch of them as a couple. Like, merch of them kissing and shit. It's like, I feel like that would sell better. I don't get it. Um, but it's one of those things where, like, when I'm talking, like, every episode about, like, wanting, I don't know, like, Miku and, um, oh my god. Her name was in my head, too. Hibiki. To kiss, or, Kirika and Shirabe, etc., etc. It's like, when I'm like going with the entire just kiss already joke and all, it's mostly meant as a joke. It's mostly meant like in like lighthearted fun. Like the just kiss already is kind of a meme in and of itself. But I do mean it as well. Because like I said, I don't really understand the entire idea behind keeping it like not fully canon, especially when it's this blatant. Like, okay, for Donghua, I understand a little bit more because in China, I think it's kind of outlawed. I think you're not like legally allowed to include that stuff. And so the Donghua that are so blatantly obviously gay still have to not canonize anything because they're not allowed to. From what I've heard. I have to specify that. I don't know if it's 100% correct. But, like, there's a lot of Donghua out there that, like, are very blatantly gay. But they can't say anything. They can't confirm or canonize anything. It's why there's such a huge BL community who love Donghua. And very specific Donghua. And it's because it's very clear the creators wanted to make it very explicitly gay, but couldn't. Link Click is an example of this. And I can't say for sure because I haven't like seen anything from the creators about it, and I don't know like what their thoughts regarding it were exactly. But I feel there's like even beyond like Lu Guang and Cheng Xiaoxi, there's I feel very notable queer stuff in this series. Like episode 2, like the two women in it, the ones who run the noodle shop, they're a couple. They're super blatantly a couple. Or I guess ex-couple at the time of the main thing, but still. And it's like it is so blatant that they're a thing. It is so ridiculously obvious. I've seen a couple reactions to the series and everyone notes it because it's so blatant. It's so in your face. But they can't say it and they can't canonize it. And it's just like it's clear that they wanted to though. That's one thing, but when you have a series that absolutely can canonize it, why wouldn't you? Again, I don't understand the merch sales thing because it feels like it would be the opposite. But and sorry for this long rant about this. This is just like it's something notable from the comments last time I wanted to touch on, and like when this series is known for how fucking gay it is. It's again, it's just weird to me. When, like, you have voice actors or people working on the show who ship the characters together, it's like, just fucking make it canon. Like, there's so many anime out there that do have queer characters in it. It's like, yeah, there could be more. There could be better representation. Some things are outdated in how they're portrayed. But there's still a lot of that out there. And in mainstream stuff, too. My Hero Academia has queer characters. Like, Himiko Toga is canonically bisexual. You have two different trans characters. Actually, technically more than two, but two notable ones. With Tiger from the Pussycats and Big Sis Mag. And it's just like, if a big line series like that can have queer characters that are very canon. I think you can as well. I mean, Tiger's the only one who's not shown in the series to be queer. Um, Big Sis Mag is pretty explicitly noted to be, trans in the series. And, like, Himiko does not hide it at all. She is very open with how bisexual she is. Um, but yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where they just really, really should have canonized it. Like, fully canonized. Again, it's obvious that it is the case. It's obvious that Hibiki and Miku are just straight up girlfriends. They are a couple. And same with Kirika and Shirabe. It's very blatantly obvious. Or Tsubasa and her girlfriend from the beginning of the series. I can't remember her name. But it's super obvious. And it's just, I don't know, it irritates me a little, if I'm being honest. So again, sorry about this long rant. We'll close this up now, because I feel like I'm repeating myself anyway. But yeah. All of that being said, we not only had the return of Carol last time, but we had the downfall of another one of the auto scorers. The crazy redheaded drill lolly, whose name is also escaping me right now. We had a little bit of Hibiki meeting with her father, which didn't turn out very well because he's kind of a shit stain. And yeah, more setup for the future, I guess. It's interesting because Tsubasa and Chris have kind of taken a little bit of a back seat this season. Like, they're still there and they still have roles to play. But they're definitely not as big of a focus. Kirika and Shirabe are huge this season. They are, like, really big. Obviously, Hibiki's always a major character. But it's like, I think Kirika and Shirabe are kind of the main characters of this season. Just based on, like, screen time and focus and just how much effort and attention is being put into them. It just really feels like they're a bigger deal than even Hibiki this season, which is wild. And maybe that's the reason why some people don't like this season as much. I know this is a very divisive one. Maybe some people don't like it because it focuses so heavily on those two. Though, I mean, I'm sure that just like any of these characters, those two have just as many fans. But, there's probably a lot of people who are, big into, obviously, Hibiki and want her to kind of remain the focus. And she's second fiddle to them, I would say, in this season. She's still, like, the main character, and she still has, like, major role to play. She's, again, like, the second main character of the season, but still. I'm fine with it, though, because, like, I'm fine with different characters having different focuses each season. I'm fine with shows that have large enough casts doing that, because it allows each character to shine in different points of the series. Hibiki and Chris and Tsubasa, they've had their time to shine, plenty. And we had Kirika and Shirabe being, bad guys last time. Even though they weren't bad, but they were still the antagonists. Along with Maria, who also isn't, like, super huge this season. She had a little bit of a role to play early on, but kind of just faded out after that. But Shirabe and Kirika specifically are really focused on, like, constantly. It's just interesting to me. And the last thing I'm going to mention before we finally get this started is that there's kind of a little hint that Carol might be controlling her clone, whose name I cannot think of at the moment. The one who is kind of made friends with like Chris and the others. Maria kind of connected with her as well. And yeah, it seems like there might be a little hint that there's like some kind of control over that over them, but I'm not sure if it's entirely known. Like, I'm not sure if she knows that Carol can control her, or if it's just a case of like it's something that Carol plans to do like without consent almost. If that's the case, you could definitely make some comparisons in terms of real life situations with that. Like, Jesus. But I guess we should just get into this and see what we have in store. Sorry for the long pre-thoughts. I really needed to get that rant out there, but let's get this going. Like I said, see what we have for this episode. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I'm going to say this right off the bat because just in case anybody was like going to comment on it, I want to address it before like you guys get to that, unless you already have. I feel like some of you might have been expecting me to have a bigger reaction, like this bigger, more grand, more excited reaction to Tsubasa saying I'm not a sword, considering like since like what, episode 1 of season 1, that's always been kind of her thing, calling herself a sword, seeing herself as a weapon to be used, as a tool to be used to fight the noise and whatnot and the other enemies that threaten them. And so like this is kind of like, in a way, not necessarily the conclusion, but the culmination of that character arc. She now, having kind of reconciled things with her father, finding out that he never hated her, but just resented the way she was born and was distant from her because of that, and clearly said some things that were bad. But he clearly, I think he wanted to get her away from him, not just the rest of the family, but him specifically, because I think like he realized he was being kind of a piece of shit, and he needed her to like find people who wouldn't be like that for her, which she did. She absolutely did. But I think the reason I didn't have that big of a reaction to her saying this, despite it being the culmination of this character arc, is because I so saw it coming. Not only because of, like, obviously the character arc moving to that direction, but, like, in this episode alone, like, they were drawing attention to that. With the entire conceptual weapon breaker specifically targeting swords, and you even have the part where, like, Tsubasa specifically says, I am a sword, and the weapon breaker, like, you know, fucks her up because of it. It's like, oh, it was so blatantly obvious it was going to happen. It's still a really cool scene. It's still great for her character growth and development. Glad she's not going to stop being a dramatic bitch, though, because, like, she is our original dramatic bitch. But yeah, this was obvious throughout the episode, and so I wasn't surprised when it happened. I'm not saying I wasn't excited either. I was excited, but it's just like I feel like people who didn't see it coming or like got like who weren't expecting it necessarily would have had a bigger reaction. For me, it's just like, okay, cool. um, sorry if that doesn't like go with what you wanted from me. But like I said in the reaction, it's kind of funny. And it's funny whenever this happens. This has happened on the channel a few times where I talk about in the pre-thoughts of about something and then it happens in the episode. It's like I'm just saying in the pre-thoughts, it's like, oh, this season has been like extremely focused on Shirabe and Kirika. Characters like Tsubasa and Maria have kind of like fallen out of the spotlight for this season, which is fine because like I like it focusing on different characters at different points. And then this episode is entirely focused on Tsubasa and Maria. Like Shirabe and Kirika and Chris, like they're going on their mission to like try and stop um Carol specifically at this underwater base. I forgot exactly what it's called. It's like Throne of Atlantis or something. I know that's not it, but it's something like that. Poseidon or something. Um but the point is, it's like they're in this, but they're very much not the focus. Like, it's hard even calling it an A plot and a B plot because I feel like the the stuff with Maria and Tsubasa is the A, B, and C plot, and the other stuff is relegated to almost like a D plot. It's like that not insignificant, but it's that minor in focus and attention compared to the other plot. The stuff with Tsubasa and Maria is like 90% of the episode. And the other stuff is only like 10%. And it's like, honestly, that's maybe even a little too high. It's really that, like, unfocused on comparatively. And, like, I understand that Tsubasa is, like, one of the main characters, and she's been there since the beginning, even longer than Chris and whatnot. And so it's like, I understand putting this big focus on her, especially since this is a character arc that she's been going through since episode 1. It makes sense. It's just like, wow, it was super focused on her. um, so we have another auto scorer down, but I'm really thinking this is not good. In fact, I'm thinking this was Carol's plan. The auto scorers were supposed to be killed. That was the intent from the beginning, and that's why they kept going after our heroes. Wanting to hear them sing is basically just an excuse for like going to them for the sake of dying. Because I don't remember the blue one, if she was as well, but both Drill Lolly last time and now this one, I don't remember their names. I apologize. But both of them seemed happy when they were killed. They were smiling and even laughing. That implies to me that this was not only intended but important, that it needed to happen, that it was the plan the entire time. And that's concerning. I wonder if that has to do with the sister in the ocean and everything, if that's related to that. Maybe that's like part of like the grand like weapon that Carol's trying to use, or maybe that is the weapon. And maybe the auto scores dying are part of the key to utilizing it properly, or to like drawing out its strength or something. The auto scores deaths feed into it in some way. It's a possibility. That's all I'm saying. I guess we'll have to see it. Like I said, we have 4 more episodes after this, so we're not quite at the end game yet. Because Carol here was trying to get something she needed for the end game still. And right now, with the fact that her body is kind of rejecting her for the time, due to her also being, like Tsubasa, a dramatic bitch last time she made herself publicly seen. I know what I mean. I'm bad at wording things sometimes. You know what I mean. When she, had to fuck with our heroes just to, just by committing suicide, which was, again, as I've stated multiple times now, completely unnecessary, completely like for the sake purely of fucking with them. And honestly, it seems to have hindered her. Like she was being such a petty ass bitch just to fuck with them that she actually hurt her own plans and hurt herself by doing this. It's like that is such a wildly petty move that you're willing to like cause issues with your own plan just to make them feel uncomfortable for a little bit. And we don't really get any confirmation of anything with Elf9 here, but I feel like it's pretty clear that she can at least see through Elf9. And I'm thinking she does have the ability to take Elf9 over. And I think we are going to see that. It just seems to be setting up for it. Which I also assume is going to be reversed. Because it just feels like at this point that one of two things is going to happen. I mean, after Carol takes over Elf9. Carol's current body is going to completely reject her. She's going to take over Elf9, and then one of two things is going to happen. Either one, they do get separated again, but Elf9 does something that hurts Carol, that like stops her temporarily or causes an issue with her plans, but it does come at the cost of Elf9's life. Or number two, they get separated somehow through maybe fights that happen, or maybe Elf9 fighting back against it with like Maria's help or something, against the control. They get separated, and Elf9 does survive, but is out for like the rest of the season. I feel like one of those two things. Granted, there's not much left in the season, but you know what I mean. Either she will survive or she won't, which seems obvious. It's like, duh. But it's like, if she does die, I think it's going to be a sacrifice kind of situation. And if she does survive, I think it's going to be like from an outside source separating them. That's my theory right now. It just feels like that would be the way it would go. Do not know if that is how it's going to go, but it feels like it would be. I could end up being completely wrong. And obviously, do not tell me. No spoilers. But yeah. I also was not expecting the incest plotline. That was dropped on us. So, and yes, it's still incest because they are still legally family. Even if it was her grandfather's daughter-in-law, her mother, not technically being, biologically related to him, it's still incest. And it's still fucked up for a lot of other reasons, too. Like, that means he had to have either coerced or convinced her to sleep with him. He might have raped her, or might have even artificially inseminated her with his seed, which I doubt that's the case. So I think I don't think it was consensual, though. The way that it was talked about here felt very icky. And obviously Maria was really pissed off about it, hearing about that being how, Tsubasa was conceived. And Yeah, it really, really feels like it was non-consensual, which that's fucked. But also, it's fucked to, have a kid with your daughter-in-law. There's no getting around how fucked that is. And for the sake of keeping the bloodline pure, it's like, this feels like the kind of shit Endeavor from My Hero would do. Mind you, that's not the reason he was doing what he was doing exactly, but still. It's like, that is just like so scummy and just fucked beyond belief. Um, and of course, Subasa's father was, very, very resentful of all of that happening. And because of that, he did not only neglect but mistreat her. We saw like that flashback from when she was a kid and him saying that she's not his daughter and everything, and like, just being a piece of shit. And I mean, even if technically true, he's still her father. You don't have to be biologically related. And either way, there's no reason to like say that kind of thing, and especially in the tone he was to your kid. To any kid. But especially a kid who believes you or sees you as their parent. It's just, it is so excessively fucked. And like I said in the reaction, I think that part of the reason why he wanted to get her away from the family and all was also to get her away from him. Because he seemed, at the end especially, like he understood what he had done and said and everything. He seemed, I wouldn't say entirely repentant, but he seemed like he didn't deserve to see himself as her father. And that's why he was so distant from her still during this entire episode. Because, not because of anything she had done, but because of what he had done. And you could say maybe that's a lot of wishful thinking, that was where his thought process was. But based on what we found out at the end, with the fact that, again, he not only left her room as it was, but kept it clean in spite of that, and showcasing that he did actually love her and was encouraging her to follow her dreams and everything, it's like, it's believable, right? And then we have the big twist at the end. Carol is saved and protected by Fuckface McCuntburger. Probably, no, definitely my most hated character in this goddamn show. Why does he keep coming back? Can this guy just fucking die already? Why is he the recurring villain? Like, of all characters, he's not even fun. He's not even entertaining. He's not even enjoyable to watch clash with the heroes. I just fucking want him dead. He's detestable as a character. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I feel like I'm not even as, like, aggressively angry as I could be, because I'm just so fucking tired of this shit. I'm just so exhausted by this bullfuckery. Like, I liked Carol as a villain. Carol is a very fascinating, nuanced, really interesting villain. Why do we have to bring this fucker into things? This ruins the vibe. Let Carol be the villain. Fuck this dude. Kill this dude. Behead him and shove his decapitated head up his urethra. Fuck. Now I'm getting more angry. I would love it if he's just completely dispatched of at the very beginning of next episode, and it's just like a ruse, just like the creators, the writers of this fucking with us, thinking he's gonna become this big force again, and he just ends up being taken out instantly. I would love that, because then at least he would be gone again. Like, don't arrest this dude. Don't try to imprison this dude. Fucking kill him. Like, he's too dangerous to be kept alive. I don't understand. Why do the writers think we want to keep seeing this guy? Tell me what you thought of this episode in the comments below. No spoilers. See you all next time. I'm signing off. See you all next time. Yeah, Jess.